Right. So here's another example. The particle is placed on the inner surface of a smooth sphere of radius r. You can see that this is a sphere, smooth sphere, and inside this smooth sphere, a particle is placed. So when it is placed, you know that due to gravity, it will be position itself at the lowest point. Okay. So then an initial velocity of root 2gh, an initial velocity of root 2gh is given horizontally. So at this point, root 2gh is given to this particle. So when that happens, this is another example for a particle that is not tied to a fixed point by a rope or a rod or anything else. So what happens is that when a velocity is given to this particle, uh, it will start moving, and but there's a restriction because it is inside the smooth sphere, so it has to follow through this curve, follow the surface, and at a certain point, it can leave off the surface. It can leave the surface because it is not tied to this surface by maybe magnetic force or anything else. So there's a possibility that it will leave the surface. So why that happens? When that happens, and what happens to the contact force? Contact force R will be equal to 0. Right. So when it is given velocity, one thing could happen is that if initial, enough velocity is not given, this kinetic energy will be transformed to potential energy, right? Completely at a point somewhere here, that is well below the center, point somewhere here. Then it will start oscillating. It will start oscillating. If enough velocity is given, it will go beyond this limit up to a certain distance. Then it will try to leave this surface, right, under gravity. So then what happens? It will go under gravity. It will take a projectile motion, right? So you can see how many ways can we go with this type of question. Okay, so I have to sketch a general position of this particle. Let's say it is somewhere here, and at that point, the angle is theta, right? The angle is theta, and the height from the lowest point is capital H, right? The radius is r. It is given, and you have to mention this weight as well. So these are the two external forces that are acting, but weight is not considered there. And this is the v. I mean the velocity of the particle at that position would be v, right? Due to this height change, there will be a corresponding change in the velocity. Okay, so the acceleration towards the center would be of v squared over r at that particular point, and the acceleration towards tangential direction will be dv by dt. Okay, let's leave somewhere here. Start working. So first of all, we can start with the energy conservation. So energy conservation, energy is conserved. What energy? Mechanical energy is conserved because this external force R is not influencing the velocity. So the starting energy would be half m velocity squared. That means this is root 2gh. So square would be 2gh. This is equal to half m v squared plus mg, this height change. So let's take this point to be the reference point, PE0, reference point. So this is the height. So what is height? Height would be r minus, let's take this for a moment. This distance is r, then r minus r cos theta. R minus r cos theta. Let's take this for a moment. Okay, cos theta. Okay, then we can get rid of these m's and 2's, and I will finally get an answer. V squared is equal to 2gh minus 2gr plus 2gr cos theta. 2gr cos theta. Okay. So then we can use F equal ma towards the center. We use F equal ma towards the center, then towards the center, F equal ma. So what is the centripetal force that would cause this particle to move in a circular path? That be R minus mg cos theta. R minus mg cos theta. Cosine theta is equal to m. Acceleration would be v squared over r. Now, when it leaves the surface, this implies r should be equal to 0. So we can use this relationship, r is equal to 0. So let me just call it 1. Then this implies when r is equal to 0, this breaks down to g cos theta is equal to minus v squared over r. That gives us cos theta. Cosine theta is equal to minus v squared over gr. So obviously this part would be negative because v is a positive quantity. G and r, they are all positive quantities. That means theta. So cos theta is negative. That means theta should be in the second quadrant. Just keep this in mind. It should be the second part. That means a particle will leave the surface somewhere here, second quadrant, somewhere here. We don't know where exactly. Right. So now I can use the first equation to replace this. Therefore, cos theta is equal to minus. So you have to divide every term on this in this by gr. Then you get 2gh divided by gr minus 2gr divided by gr plus 2gr divided by gr. Then you have cosine theta as well. Right. Then what do you get here? So cos theta would be minus 2h over r. Here you get minus plus 2. These two becomes plus 2. Then this becomes minus 2 cosine theta. Minus 2 cosine theta. Okay. So I can take this to the other side. Then it becomes 3 cos theta equals 2 minus 2h over r. 2 minus 2h over r. So I could have used h instead here. So that would be easier. But let's stick to this for a moment. Then what is cosine theta? So you can find cosine theta from this. So cosine theta would be, so let me write here. Cos theta would be this small part. This height would be what? R minus h. R minus h. And divide by the hypotenuse would be r, which is cos theta. So 3 r minus h divided by r equals 2 minus 2h over r. Now I can simplify this. This becomes 3 minus 3h over r and 2 minus 2h over r. And this part reduced to, if you subtract h, then you get 1/3 r plus 2y h. This is the height at which the particle leave the inner surface. Okay. Right. So thank you for watching.